Hey, digital diamonds! It's time for another digital gem. Let's go! Welcome back to Digital Healthcare Solutions, a healthcare network developed to equip, empower, and encourage a thriving digital healthcare nomad community. In today's Diamond video, we will be looking at the CPT Codebook. CPT is an abbreviation for Current Procedural Terminology. The CPT Codebook is used across the country to report medical, surgical, radiology, laboratory, anesthesiology, genomic sequencing, evaluation and management services under public and private health insurance programs. Doctors and healthcare professionals use this uniform language to ensure accurate and efficient medical reporting, claims processing, and reimbursement. The CPT Codebook is updated and published annually. As we review the CPT Codebook, it is important to note and to become extremely familiar with the codebook format. The CPT Codebook is formatted with the index at the very back of the book and the tabular sections, starting near the front of the book. So why are we making this very clear distinction from the very beginning of the codebook review? Because it is imperative to understand, the codebook index is point A, the starting point, the key to locating information in the CPT Codebook. So now, when we go to look up a code or codes in the CPT Codebook, we want to start from the back of the codebook, and then move to the front, from back to front, from right to left. Perfect! You got it! The tabular sections is where most medical coders invest the bulk of their time, working with and coding from Category 1 CPT codes, which are divided into 6 sections: evaluation and management, anesthesia, surgery, radiology, pathology, laboratory, and medicine. Okay, you got it? Moving on. Wait. Fun fact. Current procedural terminology is the most widely accepted medical language used to report services for both public and private health insurance programs. And, because it's important to have industry knowledge, the CPT Codebook was and continues to be developed and published by the American Medical Association since 1966. The American Medical Association, also known as the AMA, is a national association, which promotes the science and art of medicine and the advancement of public health. So, what does a CPT code look like? All CPT codes are 5 digits and can be either numeric or alphanumeric, depending on the category. There are 3 CPT categories. Category 1 codes, these are procedure or service codes. These numeric codes ranging from 00100-99499. Category 2 codes, these are performance measurement tracking codes. These alphanumeric codes are optional, and they are not required for correct coding. Category 3, these are temporary codes used for new and developing technology, procedures, and services. These are alphanumeric codes. Most medical coders will invest the bulk of their studies and coding time working with Category 1 CPT codes, which are divided into 6 sections: evaluation and management, anesthesia, surgery, radiology, pathology, laboratory, and medicine. Not so fun fact, because a CPT editorial panel maintains and updates CPT codes regularly. The AMA publishes updated coding manuals annually to keep up with the ever-changes in medicine, procedures, technology, and other relevant areas of medicine. CPT coding manuals must be repurchased annually to ensure current codes are used for accurate billing and reimbursement. Interesting to note, new and updated CPT codes have been created to streamline services related to the novel coronavirus. It is imperative to check the AMA CPT public website periodically to obtain current and frequent updates and updated CPT coding guidelines. So, let's look at the CPT Codebook, and remember, CPT codes are primarily comprised of numeric codes used to identify medical procedures and physician services. And what's even better, the CPT manual comes with coding guidelines at the beginning of each of the 6 sections. Categories, sections, subsections, and subheading guidelines dictate code assignments. Coding guidelines provide directions surrounding when and how codes are assigned, which codes can be reported together, and which codes can and cannot be reported together, in addition to other compliance guidelines. Now wait, before you pass out. Medical coders and anyone using CPT codes are not expected to know or memorize well over 10,000 codes. However, learning how to use the CPT coding manual and coding techniques adequately provide preparation for a lucrative coding career. Also, contingent upon work settings, most coders, facilities, and outpatient services will use either a manual CPT registered codebook or software designed specifically for medical billing and coding, reimbursement, and reporting. With all medical coding, a coder's goal is to identify the accurate code efficiently and code to the highest degree of specificity for the procedure performed. To do so, a solid grasp of anatomy and medical terminology is required. Selecting an accurate CPT code will require one's ability to read and understand the clinical documentation provided in the medical record, in addition to the code description provided in the coding manual. Understanding the specific procedure performed and understanding exactly how the procedure was performed is essential for coding accuracy. With over 10,000 CPT codes, a thorough understanding of the human anatomy is essential. Fun fact, according to the AMA, the original CPT codebook was only 175 pages, featured approximately 3,500 codes, and cost approximately $2. As of 2022, the CPT codebook consists of approximately 1,268 pages, over 10,000 codes, and the price varies depending on if the code is new, rented, or used. Back to the manual. On the inside flap of the CPT codebook, coding symbols and modifiers are listed. Symbols provide additional information that may be useful. When a symbol or modifier is placed before a 5-digit CPT code, the user, code, biller, entity, etc., should reference the symbols and modifiers table in the front of the coding manual or the symbol key located at the bottom of the CPT codebook for additional information or direction. Modifiers listed in the table may be used to report or specify that a service or procedure performed has been altered. However, the modification did not change the original definition or code. The proper use of these modifiers can also alleviate the use of additional codes to describe a modifying circumstance. These modifiers applied appropriately can assist coder to effectively convey a clear picture and respond to payment policy requirements established by other entities. So, if your coding manual comes with tabs, some individuals find it useful to tab categories and sections to accelerate the coding process, whereas some users find tabbing the coding manual simply slows them down. Our recommendation: use the tabs to enhance coding speed. This will become important when or if a decision is made to take a certification exam. However, at the end of the day, it's about personal preferences. Next, we see place of service codes for professional claims. These 2-digit place of service codes are used on professional claims to specify the entity where service were provided. Turning several pages to the right, we see a very thorough and robust table of contents. This will become useful when wanting to quickly identify a specific category, section, and/or subsection. Next, we turn to the introduction. Under the introduction section, we see information like how to actually use the CPT codebook, which we will cover more thoroughly in our next video, along with valuable and useful information on the guidelines, add-on codes, what they are and what does that mean, how time is measured and coded, along with helpful and significant insights that most healthcare professionals may brush past. But no way. Because you strive to be a digital diamond, you read everything. Your knowledge is broad and expansive, you attract success, and you create the life that you want to live. And lastly, the illustrated anatomical and procedural review section. The illustrated anatomical and procedural review section of the CPT codebook identifies common prefixes, suffixes, root words that will be extremely important to know as a coding professional. We will also link in the description below some additional recommended tools that every coding and healthcare professional may find helpful. As healthcare professionals, it is indeed essential to develop a strong understanding of medical terminology and anatomy, to code accurately in an efficient manner. However, over time, and as long as you remain in the healthcare industry, your knowledge and understanding of the human body and medical terminology will continue to expand. Until then, the illustrated anatomical and procedural review section can be used as a quick reference. Some keywords and component parts used for coding are provided to help coders just getting started. By turning the page to the right, you will see body planes and aspects. These are just fancy words to describe how the body is divided and how the image appears. We will also cover this in another video. Next, we see the evaluation and management tables, followed by ENDEM services guidelines. As you flip through the pages, did you notice anything in particular? The names of the subsections appear at the top margin of most pages, and the very first code in that section and the very last code of that section is listed in the margin. Now, as we look at the hundreds of pages to the right, often color-coded by various sections, we see CPT codes divided into multiple sections, 6 sections to be exact. These are your Category 1 CPT codes: evaluation and management, anesthesia, surgery, radiology, pathology and laboratory, and medicine. As we review each section, we see evaluation and management codes, not to be confused with the evaluation and management guidelines we just mentioned. Next, we see anesthesia guidelines, followed by anesthesia codes. Next up, surgery guidelines, followed by surgery procedural codes, radiology guidelines, and yes, you got it, radiology codes, followed by the pathology and laboratory guidelines, and then pathology and laboratory codes. Lastly, we see medicine guidelines, and then medicine codes. Now, as we flip to the last third of the codebook, we find the Category 2 codes. Codes under Category 2, we see supplemental tracking codes used for performance measurement and data collection related to quality and performance measurement, including healthcare effectiveness data and information set. What do we see next? Category 3 CPT codes. Category 3 CPT codes are temporary codes for data collection for emerging technologies, services, procedures, and service paradigms, followed by appendices A through R, and then finally, the indexes. Turning back to the appendices, these are important. Appendix A provides modifiers that can be added to a code and are used to explain unique circumstances about a completed service. Appendix B provides a summary of codes that have been added, deleted, and revisions. Appendix C, examples of clinical examples of evaluations and management services. Appendix D provides a summary of CPT add-on codes used with CPT codes. Appendix E provides a summary of CPT codes exempt from Modifier 51, a multiple procedures modifier. Appendix F provides a summary of CPT codes exempt from Modifier 63. Modifier 63 used for procedures performed on infants less than 4 kilograms. Appendix G provides a summary of CPT codes that have been removed from the CPT code set. Appendix H is a reference that alphabetical clinical topics listing have been removed from the CPT Codebook, and another removal reference for Appendix I. Appendix J is an outline summary assigning each sensory, motor, and mixed nerve with an additional nerve code. Appendix K provides a summary of CPT codes for vaccine products that are pending FDA approval. Appendix L is a pictorial of an assumable vascular tree. This vascular model will be extremely helpful when assistance is needed when identifying the branches of a vascular family, assuming the aorta, vena cava, pulmonary artery, or portal vein is the starting point of catheterization. Appendix M provides a list of newly added CPT codes and modifiers, and a list of add-on codes, and Appendix N provides a summary of resequenced CPT codes. Appendix O gets a little more extensive with a list of CPT codes for emulsion analyte assays with algorithmic analysis, and proprietary laboratory analyses codes, and Appendix P provides a list of CPT codes used for real-time telemedicine services. Finally, Appendix Q provides a list of vaccines, concluded by Appendix R, which provides a list of digital medicine services. Coming back around, full circle, we conclude the AMA CPT Codebook review with the index section, where we first began and where we will always begin searching for procedures or services that accurately describes and identifies services performed by health professionals. Lastly, since the AMA uses every aspect of the codebook to convey valuable information, take a moment to look on the back inside or flap of your AMA CPT Codebook binder. Common abbreviations are provided, and many professional coders find this information extremely valuable to know when reviewing physician notes and documentation. Well, that's it for now. We hope and trust this information will be used and shared as a valuable tool as you strive to be a digital diamond, a professional medical coder and/or biller, or even if you are starting your own billing service. But no matter what you do, remember, because you strive to be a digital diamond, you read everything. Your knowledge is broad and expansive, you attract success, and you create the life that you want to live.